I thought I'd show you how straightforward it is to change the fork seals. My track bike, which is a CBR600RR 08 model, I've done the fork seals both sides actually, so they need replacing again. And the very first thing you need to do, besides taking the wheel off and the mudguard, first thing you want to do is just loosen the top bridge clamp bolt. So that's that one there. So you just want to loosen that, and then also loosen the cap. So you just want to just crack the cap loose. So as you can see, I've got the front of the bike supported on these head stem stand, so that both forks were hanging free and the wheel was hanging free. So the first thing you need to do then is just with a screwdriver, just prise the dust seal off like that. It's very straightforward. So just pull the dust seal down to the bottom, and then inside here there is like a very large circlip, and you just get that out with a screwdriver. Very easy. It's got a little indent, so you just pull that out like that. I'll show you what it looks like. So that clip just sits inside a groove that's inside there. I'll just put it back onto here. Next thing you need to do is just undo the bolt on the bottom of the forks. That sits. So in the case of the Honda, it's 8mm hex key, but I'll just push that up. In the bottom there is a hex key bolt which holds the cartridge in. So you undo that. Yeah, so once you've undone that 8mm hex bolt on the bottom, there'll be oil coming out everywhere, but I've already emptied the oil out of this. I'm just showing you how the work's done. So now what you do is you can undo the fork cap. So you should be able to wind that right out, and then you can pull the cartridge out. Again, there'll be oil going all over the place. So you need a drain container or something down here. But you pull the cartridge out, which I'll do now. And there's the bottom of the cartridge. So once that's out, as I said before, you can pull the tube, it'll come right down. And then you use the tube as a driver to drive out the guide bush and the fork seal. So 2 or 3 sharp pulls, it should come out. Well, in that case there's only one. So there you can see the old seal, the backing ring, the guide bush, and then the sliding bush on top of the tube there. So I'm giving this a complete reconditioning job, so I'm changing the seal, and I'm changing the guide bush, and I'm changing the sliding bush, and I'm changing the dust seal. Here's the fork sliding tube. This is from the left hand side. So I just stick it in the vise there. I've got aluminium in there for a soft seal. First thing is the top of the tube here has a couple of sharp edges, and you don't want to damage the seal, so what I do is wrap it with insulation tape, just the top section. Just put a little bit of WD-40 on there, just to give it a little bit of lubrication. So the first thing to go on is the dust seal. It's pretty easy to tell which is the correct way. So there's your dust seal, then the large circlip. Then the seal, the fork seal, that side there faces the oil. That's the outside. It's pretty easy to tell. Okay, that's the fork seal on. Next thing I forgot to show you is the backing ring. This is the large washer called the backing ring that goes between or goes behind the seal. That goes on there. Then the guide bush. So when you use the driver, before the seal driver, you're driving in both the seal and the guide bush at the same time. So now that that's on, we take the tape off. And then the last thing is the sliding bush, which you just separate, prise it apart a bit, pull it down and it'll snap into the groove like that. So that's it, that's ready. Have a homemade fork seal driver. All I do is cut it in half, and then all I do is put a couple of cable ties around to hold it together, but these go around there like that, and then with the nylon hammer you can just tap that up and that'll drive the seal and the bush into the housing. I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you how easy these are to put back in. I'll just slide that in. Okay, so I'll push that in, and now I'm just going to tap the. Oops, here we go. Tap my. Okay, so that's now driven in, and then all you do is you have to put this large circlip in. That just pushes in. Use a small screwdriver and you'll feel it snap into place. Yep. So that's in the groove now. And then you just slide the dust seal up, and that just pushes into there like that, and give it a bit of a tap. And that's how you do it. It's very easy. Okay, now I've put the fork inner tube back in, and the new seals and the bushes and the guide bushes. Can get ready to start putting the rest back together. This is the cartridge. I use Olin's 30mm cartridges, so this is racing kit. At the moment, no spring or anything on it because you have to drop it in without the spring and the cap, so you can set the oil level. So very easy. I'll just drop this into the top of the fork, and the 8mm bolt on the bottom of the fork screws into there. So let's just drop this in. That's down on the bottom. Let's push that up, and then the Allen key on the bottom, which we had to take out before. Just have to bolt that in. So that's that thread is started. I just have to tighten out. They're very easy, don't use Loctite or anything like that on that 8mm bolt. Yeah, what I've done now is I've pulled the forks right up so they're fully collapsed. So I've basically pushed the chrome tube all the way in and I've just got an hockey strap holding it on. Then I put some new oil in. I set the oil level with these Golden's cartridges. They recommend 160mm. So I just put about 300 mils of fork oil in there. And then, so basically I overfill it a bit, and then I just use a syringe. Here's the syringe here. So I use a syringe with a bit of plastic tube, and I've got a cable tie 160mm up from the bottom. So I've just poked that into the fork and sucked out the excess oil to set the level. After the level's set, then I drop the fork spacer in and the spring, and now I'm just in the process of putting the cap back on. So each bite's going to be a bit different, but you generally set the fork level with your forks fully collapsed, then you measure it from the depth from the outside here. So anyway, I hope that helps you. You can have a go at doing your own forks next time. Thanks for watching.